Well, welcome to Garage again. Appreciate you guys being here. Just got so much going on. You know, I'm only filming probably a fourth of what I'm working on, just because it takes a lot of time to film, and you know, a lot of times you just gotta buckle down and just get stuff out the door so you can have some more time to do stuff that you want to film. So, as you have probably guessed, we are getting ready for LS Fest, and so I've got a pretty big list of stuff to do. I mean, I'm not like super behind, but I do have a lot of stuff I need to get done. So this is going to be like, you know, vlog LS Fest #1, I guess, basically. So right now I've got the Duramax in the garage, as you can see, and it's pretty dirty, but I've been doing some maintenance and stuff to it. A couple of days ago I had the bed off and replaced the fuel sending unit because the gauge was acting crazy, and you know, I went ahead and cleaned everything while the bed was off, because why not, and you know, got that put all back together. I've replaced the power steering pump and both the pressure lines for the power steering, because in sequence they all decided to leak. So well, actually the pump was just kind of starting to get to where it wasn't pumping, it wasn't happy. This thing's got hydro boost, so the first thing we did was replace the pressure line from the pump to the hydro boost, because it was leaking. It had a little pinhole in the line, and that was good for a couple weeks, and then it started leaking again, and actually, now that I think about it, it was leaking a little bit from the pump. So I replaced the pump, then drove it that day, and the other pressure line where it bolted into the gearbox had like a pinhole right around the nut where it screws into the box. And I thought that I fixed that by putting a new O-ring on it, but that didn't fix it, so I ended up putting another line on there. So power steering line, both pressure lines done, so that's been good for probably a week at least now. I've driven it back and forth to work several times just because I wanted to put some miles on it and make sure everything was solid. And so that's all good. Fuel gauge works. I know because I put $176.25 in diesel in this thing yesterday. So I mean, that's just how it goes. But it's got an auxiliary tank in the back, and she's all fueled up, so we shouldn't have to get any fuel. I think we'll be able to go all the way to Kentucky and back on that fuel, so, or at least very close to it. So that's cool. I'll have to stop, you know, several times. But anyway, so the first thing I'm doing today is I'm going to put these new mirrors on here. I got some tow mirrors because this is a classic model, and you know, it's got classic mirrors on it, and it really is kind of hard to see. You know, I used to think that the tow mirrors were kind of silly. I thought people just wanted them, you know, because they were bigger or whatever. But when you got the trailer on this thing, it's really kind of hard to see out of these normal mirrors. And so I went ahead and sourced some really nice ones. These are telescoping, got some fingerprints on them, but you know, they're heated, power. I mean, they're just really nice mirrors. And so I'm gonna get these put on right now, and then after that we're pulling the transfer case. I'll get into that a little bit, but when we put this thing in 4-wheel drive, the transfer case makes a popping noise, a chain slipping, and so got a full rebuild kit for that. So I'm gonna pull the transfer case out, go ahead and rebuild that, and you know, I'm gonna make a separate video for that, kind of like a how-to for the transfer case, because I couldn't really find a whole lot of videos about this particular transfer case. So so anyway, look out for that, anybody that's interested. But gonna get started, start swapping these mirrors out right quick. It's real basic. You just pull the door panel, and you know, there's like 3 bolts to hold the mirror on, and the only reason you really have to pull the door panel is just to unplug the wires. There's wires on the mirrors that control the motors and heat and all that stuff, and it generally plugs into the switch panel, you know, where your window switch and stuff's at. So you just pull the door panel off, unbolt the mirror, you know, unplug the wires from the switch, and then you just put the new one on the exact same way, bolt it up, run the wires down where the old ones were, plug them into the switch, and that's a done deal. So anyway, so I'll kind of show you guys how it looks now. You know, just got, like I said, just the classic mirrors on there. And when we come back, I'll show you the new ones. Look at that. Got them knocked out pretty quick. Visibility is so much better, it's unbelievable. Got your wide angle lens at the bottom. Got your normal mirror at the top you can use to keep an eye on your load. It's got the blinkers in it, of course, and it's heated for the winter time and all that good stuff. And you can telescope them out if you need to, but I kind of don't know that that'll ever get used. This ain't a 3500, so you know, I think mostly you would need that if you're using a dual ears, you know, something like that. But it's still cool to have it, you know, if you need it. But these mirrors, I mean, just unbelievable visibility. It's amazing, very clear. So anyway, I guess it's time to get this transfer case out. That's the last thing on the list. I went ahead and got this thing out and got the case split in two, which is actually really easy. Taking it out of the truck was even really easy. But I wanted to mention a couple things. First off, I went to drain the fluid out of this thing and it had none. Think about a tablespoon dripped out of the bottom. And so this is what you're gonna find on the inside. And the main problem is this chain. You see how much slop is in there? When I was turning, I had it up on the table before I took it apart, and I would turn the input shaft, and it would take a little bit of turning before the output shaft for the front started turning. So there's a lot of slop here. But basically, the kit that I got, and I'm gonna put it in the description so that you guys can buy this kit because it looks like a really nice kit. It comes with the rear half of the transfer case. We got a new chain, pump, pickup. Yes, transfer case with a actual pump or pump. You know, I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, so it comes with the rear case, new oil pump, pickup. We've got all the bearings and seals and everything right here in this guy. So there's all your seals and gaskets and all the bearings and everything. Retainer clips, all that good stuff. These are some kind of, they're either shims or, you know, just an anti-wear washer. But anyway, we're gonna start tearing into this thing, seeing where we're at. I do see some things that are a little bit of a mess in here. Bearings that have gotten hot, and it looks like it. Let me get the light in there. It looks like maybe the some part of the bearing kind of melted out of there. Some plastic. I mean, it's just a mess. There ain't no telling how long this thing's been out of fluid. I'm honestly surprised it drove as well as it did. You would think it would at least be squeaking or something, but I mean, it drove very smooth in two-wheel drive. It was just when you put it in four-wheel drive, the chain would pop. You know, you could hear it popping, slipping on the gears, and you know, so that was the giveaway that it needed to be rebuilt. But I had no idea it was out of fluid or any of that kind of stuff. So needless to say, during this process, I'm also going to do the front differential and the rear differential, and the transmission fluid, of course, is good, but I'm going to do the filters and everything on that too. So this is going to pretty much be like a full driveline service, and we're rebuilding the transfer case. So I'm going to start getting into this thing, see what we need to do. I've never rebuilt one of these before, but you know, how bad could it be? I don't think it's going to be bad at all. But anyway, we're going to dive into it. Got into the transfer case a little bit more. You know, I was showing you guys how to pull the stuff apart, and basically what I figured out is this planetary is shot, and when I started pulling it apart, the shift fork is gone. I mean, this thing is just toast. Hopefully you guys can see that, but there's not much left there. That's aluminum, and I don't know how in the world this thing still went in four-wheel drive, to be honest with you. Plastic's melted. There was like a liner or whatever. It's all melted. That's what I found laying in this bearing. And also, I'll let you hear this one. This is the front. This is the front shaft. I'm sure that that's coming through on camera. This thing was definitely, it was ran dry for a while. I mean, we've even got, there's rust on the shaft. So it was dry for a while. Which is just crazy because the truck drove so good, just smooth as anything. So what I ended up doing, because I need these parts, and you know, I don't have time. I've only got, you know, we're leaving Thursday. This is Monday, so I don't have time to order anything online. I did check Amazon Prime, you know, just in case, but transmission parts didn't have there wasn't any available, you know, for like next day or nothing like that. So I got on the interwebs and found somebody that had a 261 XHD, which, as far as I can tell, the only difference is the 261 is a manual shift. It's got a shift lever on it, and the 263 is electronic. So we've got all the parts we need here. I met up with a guy just a little while ago, and I got this bad boy for 150 bucks, and it's got its problems as well, but it's got different problems than what ours has, so that's good. This planetary looks like it's been replaced. I'm gonna clean it and get it poured out here in a few minutes. We got our shift for it that we needed. It's not 100% perfect, but it is a whole lot better than the other one. So I'm gonna dress that up a little bit, you know, get everything clean. I'm gonna end up thoroughly washing everything. But anyway, I just wanted to show you guys this. Even this bearing, you know, it's loud in the aluminum case, but this bearing sounds pretty good. You know, it rolls smooth on everything. So, but not that matters, because I've got new stuff. I got all new bearings in the kit over there. So anyway, so I basically just went and got the parts that I needed for 150 bucks, which will be planetary and that shift for it. So we are back in business, fellas. I'm going to go ahead and knock these seals on the back side. For what I was reading online, you got to get these seals out, and there's a snap ring behind there to let the shafts come out. And I don't really need this one at all, but I need to get this one out of this transfer case, and then I got to pull both of them out of this one. But again, I've got all new seals and everything to go in here, and so I'm gonna go ahead and knock these seals out, get this stuff pulled out, and start cleaning the case, and then I'll be back with you. All right, I got the case pressure washed and cleaned, and that actually looks really nice, believe it or not. I've got a little bit of grease on it from my hands, but it was all caked up in dirt and grease and all that good stuff. Give me an idea, it kind of looks like this one a little bit. Not quite as bad as this one, but pretty close, you know? So got this guy all cleaned up, pressure washed, got all the gunk and everything out of the inside, and I went ahead and put the input sprag back together. Got this all clean, lubricated. I dumped it in a bucket of ATF, you know, to make sure and work all the transmission fluid up inside the gears and all that good stuff. Put a new bearing, that cage bearing in there, new bushings and all that, the case bearing. This is just sitting here right now, but you can see the case bearing there. All that's good to go. So I gotta space the transmission case, I mean the transfer case up to get this to go in, as you can see, but I'll get to that in a few minutes. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this guy. Done. Got her all put back together. I was gonna video more of this, but you know, I was doing so much going back and forth between the two transfer cases, finding the best parts that I could use and all that kind of stuff, and it just, you know, there wasn't no way to film that. You know, you guys don't want to sit here for 12 hours or whatever and watch me put stuff together and take it apart and look at stuff and clean other stuff and whatever. So anyway, this thing's ready to go. I tested everything. It goes through all the gears and everything. I tested it while this box was off. There's a shaft you can turn, you know, to check all the gears and everything, and everything works. All nice parts in there, sealed up. Aside from the fill plug, I got the fill plug loose because I got to fill it up once I get it in the truck. So that's what I'm about to do now. I got the truck pushed back in the garage. This thing is a little close to my toolbox today, but that's all right. This shouldn't take long at all. So I'm gonna get this thing put in, and yeah, this will be a done deal finally. Good deal. Alright, I've been working on the trailer. Honestly can't remember. This is the next day. I can't remember if I mentioned the truck, but I got everything done to the truck. Front and rear diff, fluid changed. Transfer case put in, got the transfer case fluid in. It runs great. 4-wheel drive works really good. It's nice and quiet, much smoother. I ended up, I know I didn't mention this, but I was gonna rotate the tires. And the brakes were pretty much done. So I went ahead and did brakes and rotors yesterday as well. So that was the longest tire rotation I think I've ever done. But anyway, so this rig's ready to ride. Completely full of diesel and all that good stuff. So now I've been working on the trailer. This morning, I went ahead and put the new harness in. It's got a junction box. And at some point, I'm gonna completely rewire the trailer. But for now, I just really wanted to get this new harness up here in the front. And I was able to fish it through the frame. There's a bracket to hold the plug. You know, when the plug's not being used, you can stick it in that guy right there, and it keeps it from getting dirty laying on the ground, all that good stuff. So, but it doesn't need an adapter or anything. It's a 7-pin plug, you know, that plugs directly in. And got all that done. So now I just was working on the ramps. I've been having trouble with them for a while, and I just never took the time to look at them. See my helper here. What's up, buddy?
Who's that?
That's everybody. Say hi, everybody.
Hi.
Everybody. It's okay. Did you help me do the rivets?
What are their names?
Rivets.
Who rivets?
That's what those are. But anyway, basically there was like 2 or 3 screws at the bottom still holding the sheet metal in. All the holes were still here. But they had just random screws in here. And so I put all the rivets in here, nice new rivets. And did both of them. This one was the exact same way. It had 4 screws in it. So now, and that's basically what was happening is when you tried to put the ramp back inside of the bottom of the trailer, that sheet metal was sticking up on the front and catching. And you had to kind of fight with it to get it back in. So I finally, you know, I just needed to get that taken care of. You can see where the sheet metal was catching in there. And it's aluminum. If it was a steel piece, I would have just, you know, welded it here and there, tack welded it on or whatever. But since it's aluminum and the frame is steel, I'm just gonna ride with the rivets, and that should fix the problem with the ramps going in and out. And I was gonna paint it. I had every intention of painting it, didn't we, buddy? We wanted to paint it.
Yes.
But what keeps happening every day?
What?
It just keeps raining on it.
Rain.
And it won't stop.
So evil.
I don't know. It just keeps on raining. I mean, every day this week it has rained. I haven't had a chance to do any kind of painting. Now I'm going to be getting some tools and stuff together and some parts. I'm not going to take near as much this year as I did last year. Pretty much if something major breaks, I'm just going to load it up, you know. Anyway, I thought you guys might enjoy seeing kind of what it takes to, you know, drag race and stuff. I'm nowhere near a professional. And you know, so I just kind of do it for fun here and there, but you still got to prepare. You know, there's a lot that goes into it, especially if you are going out of town, anything like that. So when I get the truck loaded up, I'll probably show you guys some of the stuff that I put in there, and you know, I'll show the truck loaded up and, you know, all that good stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying this. So we'll see you in the morning or later tonight or something. Yeah. Good morning, guys. Thursday morning. All loaded up, ready to go. I had everything ready last night. It's about 7:15 or something. We're about to leave. So everything's looking good. Of course, it was raining, so I didn't get to really wash the truck or anything, but you know, it'll do. So anyway, everything's looking good. Got the back of the truck completely full. So we're about to get on the road. Wow, we're somewhere between Chattanooga and Nashville. We stopped at a rest stop, stretch our legs a little bit. Last time we were here, I didn't even notice this lake, did you?
Nope.
That's actually really nice out here. I think next time we come through, we might have to plan to have a picnic or something here, because it's really nice. Got little pavilions, all kind of stuff. It's just really nice. It's almost like a park instead of a rest area. But But anyway, we're making good progress. The truck's running great. So, you know, we're just gonna keep on cruising. Everything's going really good. So anyway, we'll see y'all in a little bit.